Hola, ¿cómo te llamas? Me llamo Dizzle Mitz. Welcome everyone to the Daily Dizzle for Wednesday, January 5th, 2011. As always, I am Tommy Dizzlemitz. It is very bright in front of my shades, and I keep getting hit with the light. Today is the middle of the day, the middle of the week. It's a slow day. That's how we always feel on hump day. And I really want to indulge my bad habits. So, we're going to be quick with today's updates. It doesn't mean there's any lack of things to talk about, so let's just touch on a few brief things here. So, it seems like there's been a lot of arguing in the last few days if Favre had tarnished his legacy by staying on with the Jets and then the Vikings after he left the Packers. At the same time, you had all these sexual harassment allegations going along. The NFL tried doing an investigation. Some of the people wouldn't come in to talk. Favre danced around the bush, and that's why they fined him a little bit. But, of course, when you are finding him just a little bit for something that can be blown up easily out of proportion, that little fine was just like putting blood in the water for the piranhas, because now you've got the two massage therapists who worked for the Jets at the time that Favre was on their team, coming out and suing not only Favre but the New York Jets team as well, because they have not received any work offered from the Jets since the incidents, and they also think that they were treated like hanging slabs of meat. But I guess that's what happens when you live in Brett Favre world. You get those kind of rights. So at this point, I don't think he's even retiring, not because he doesn't want to play anymore. He's retiring because he's not going to be able to get any goodwill from any of the other teams now that the one team who picked him up for all of a fucking season is now getting the shit end of the stick because the fact that he wants to go out and get some. So it's going to be very interesting to see how much the Jets, how much he has to pay in the long run. All I know is $50,000 wasn't a lot. You're going to have to add at least another zero onto that by the end of these proceedings. And maybe Favre will get tricked into playing one more year because he needs the money. Now for other news of celebrities behaving badly, though this one is really, really ridiculous. I mean, Mad TV made fun of this when it happened 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and it's happened once again. Former talk show host Montel was busted with drug paraphernalia. Apparently at Milwaukee's General Mitchell International Airport, they found what they believed to be a pipe used for smoking pot, but there was no residue in it. Of course, Montel has advocated for it for a while. He's got prescriptions for it. He ended up having to pay a $484 fine and then resuming his travel. Really, that's one of the most ridiculous things I've heard, just because I cannot understand. I mean, I get it. I get the government stance on all this and shit, but I don't get how someone who can be like, I'm sick with this thing, and I have prescriptions for this thing, for pot, but I'm still going to have to pay a $484 fine for the pot that I'm prescribed to have. What if he didn't even want the pot on him? What if the doctor made him have it, and then he got fined for it? That's no different than, like, if your buddy gives you something to hold on to, you get caught with it, and you get in trouble for it, you know? Fuck that shit. So now, just to get to a little bit of movie news, at least the most recent movie news, we've got some possible plot lines on upcoming movies that are going to be awesome. That's the simplest way of putting it. First, we've got Monsters, Inc. 2. Apparently, right now, the rumor is it's not going to be so much a sequel as it's going to be a prequel. It's going to be when Mike Wazowski and James P. Sullivan, before they even worked at the Monsters Incorporated workforce, they're actually going to be in school, and they're going to be enemies of each other at the University of Fear. So it's pretty much going to be the two not really liking each other. Essentially, it almost seems like it's going to be Toy Story 1 with the monsters from Monsters, Inc. So, I mean, that could go either way. I'd really like Monsters, Inc., and I've been waiting for a sequel forever because I'm 5 years old like that. Call me ridiculous, but still, that could go either way. Meanwhile, we've got Captain America, which is on the horizon. Obviously, a lot of it was expected to take place during the Second World War, which is the case, but parts of it will also take place in the modern day. 10% of the film is going to be modern day, so it's going to be back and forth, but, you know, X-Men seems to do that well with the Wolverine's flashbacks and everything, so I don't think that will necessarily mean anything bad for the movie. It'll just mean, some awesome present-day jumps to the past, and past jumps to the present day. They can really use that editing well, though, you know, that's probably giving them way, way too much credit before we've even seen the movie. The introduction is going to be a present-day exploration team discovering something beneath the ice of the Arctic, which is something that they have, in fact, hinted at before across the Iron Man movies. There's always Captain America references, and the Incredible Hulk, the one with Edward Norton. If you actually look, I don't know if it was deleted scenes or what, but there's some scenes in the Arctic where you can see that there is something under the ice. Chris Evans will be digitally altered for the pre-Captain America scenes because he's already jacked up, and I think the only way you can make Chris Evans look like a scrawny little bastard is special effects. I mean, look at Fantastic Four, Street Kings, all those. He's not the biggest jack dude, but he's Johnny Flame. You can't fuck with that shit. So yeah, I mean, they do proceed to sequels after this one. They're also going to blend the past and the present. So it looks like it's going to be almost one of those told in flashback, no matter what movie we are on with that series. So at the very least, the story doesn't sound as terrible as it could be, and it sounds like they're going for something interesting in the long run. Well, that's all the time that we've got for today on the Daily Dizzle. Oddly enough, it is still bright out as I am finishing this up. Be sure to join us tomorrow. We'll have a brief preview of the weekend box office. There's 2 movies coming out in a wider release this weekend. Country Strong with Gwyneth Paltrow, which she's going to either get nominated for some acting or some singing awards come Oscar time. And we've also got the latest Nicolas Cage awful bomb that's going to happen, Season of the Witch, which I cannot wait to see it. I don't care if it is like The Wicker Man. In fact, if it's like The Wicker Man, I'm going to enjoy the shit out of it because I know it's going to be cheesy awesome. So we'll definitely have those tomorrow. We'll have some more movie news as well, in addition to the box office from Tuesday, because that wasn't put up by the time we did this. So sometimes it's good to try and get your show done early. Sometimes it's not, because then you got to wait another day to give the people what they want. So, yeah, be sure to join us tomorrow for the box office, latest movie news, everything else that we usually bring to you. As always, I'm Tommy Dizzlemitz from the Daily Dizzle. If you haven't seen our previous episodes, there's a couple weeks worth. Either click on the username, go to youtube.com/Dizzlemitz, or you can even look in your suggestions, the list to the right of the video, because I know for a fact that those are all us. So if you still have a lot of time to kill and you haven't caught up on the Daily Dizzle yet, be sure to go through all those. I'm sure that'll kill a couple hours. In addition to that, though, you can check out some of our earlier highlight videos that we've done for such movies as Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Superbad, some other crazy good ones, Beetlejuice, Friday the 13th, Freddy vs. Jason. So yeah, go through and check out what other stuff we've got to offer, and keep coming back here. We will definitely see you tomorrow, same time, same place. As always, for the Daily Dizzle, I'm Tommy Dizzle. We'll see you then.